right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. The Jets beat the Cleveland Browns 31-30. What just happened in the last minute and 30 seconds of the game? The Jets score 14 points with no timeouts in Cleveland, without Zach Wilson, without Mekhi Becton, without Dwayne Brown, to beat a very, very good Browns team. You know, Kevin Stefanski, I really like the game plan going into today. I felt like they really fed the superstars. Nick Chubb, 3 touchdowns. Kareem Hunt seemed impossible to bring down. Amari Cooper, I believe 9 catches, over 100 yards. Myles Garrett stepped up. Jadeveon Clowney on the defensive side. Johnson at safety. I mean, the Browns, in my opinion, they played well. Were they perfect? No. Did they look like a top 5 team in football? No. Did the Jets? No. Right? There were mistakes on both sides, and it was really a back and forth, in my opinion. You know, it kind of reminded me of like a boxing match or, you know, a UFC match where it just seemed like nobody could really pull away until the end. And ironically enough, it was the Browns, in my opinion, that started to pull away. You know, you look at Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, those last couple drives for Cleveland, it just didn't, to me at least, you know, sitting here watching on the computer, it just seemed like the Jets defense, they gave it all they had, and that was it. That was it. And then, of course, you know, the crazy stuff happens with Joe Flacco getting the football back, hitting Corey Davis on, you know, what, a 70-yard bomb for a touchdown, where it just looked like Cleveland, you know, they just blew the defense. They just got caught sleeping. It was almost like they were under the impression that Joe Flacco was going to go underneath, or, you know, try to do like some short little lateral type of thing because there were no timeouts, or really just try to target the sidelines, hit somebody quick to get out, and then, you know, obviously come up to the line of scrimmage and call another play. But no, credit Joe Flacco, credit Corey Davis. They stepped up and they made a humongous play. A bomb touchdown at the end? Are you kidding me? It was incredible. I jumped up out of my seat when I saw that. And even after that, I was thinking to myself, crazy play, epic play, but they're still down, right? They still got to get another touchdown. They go out for the onside kick. I'm sitting there like, all right, let's see what happens. And the Jets recover. And it's like, oh my God, there's a chance. The Jets have one more chance to do this thing. And they actually did it. They actually did it. Joe Cool, right? Joe Cool and the Jets offense actually pulled through with no timeouts. They go all the way down the field. And who was it that iced it in the end? It was the hometown kid, Garrett Wilson. 8 catches, over 100 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns on the day, making play after play after play. And what was cool about Garrett Wilson's performance, a lot of those catches came in the big moments, the critical situations. And I know, you know, I've actually gotten a couple messages from my buddies who are Dolphins fans, who are like, oh, you know, Garrett Wilson with the drop on 3rd down late in the game. I'm like, you know, it is what it is. He's going to learn from it and grow. And then the Jets end up coming back, and he has an opportunity to redeem himself by catching a game-winning touchdown, and he does it. Credit Flacco again, just threading the needle in there right in the middle of the end zone. Let's talk about Joe Flacco for a second as well. I know I'm all over the place. I'm just super excited about this win. And by the way, I know this video is going up a little later. I was actually, Bleacher Report reached out and they're like, hey man, do you want to, you know, come on and do a 30-minute live reaction on our app? I'm like, yeah, 100%. So I went and I did that. So I wanted to quickly apologize for the late upload. But man, when we look at Joe Flacco's numbers, 26 of 44, 300 passing yards, 4 TDs, no interceptions, sacked twice. Overall, really good numbers, all things considered. Right? Knowing that we were playing against a solid defense, going up against Joe Woods, going up against 2 top-tier edge rushers in Garrett and Clowney, playing in Cleveland, knowing that we aren't 100% healthy on the O-line, also taking into consideration how this team looked last week against the Ravens, mistakes all over the place, Flacco had himself a really good day. Again, was he perfect? No. There were times where he missed wide open guys, where he overthrew players, where the lack of mobility was on display, just couldn't really escape, couldn't really do much when the pocket collapsed. But again, all things considered, I think Flacco did a really good job of taking care of the football, not putting it in harm's way, not forcing it into double coverage, not throwing the game away, gambling the game away by just launching it and just saying, you know, screw it, let's just let it fly and see what happens. You know, in the second and third quarter, it wasn't the case. He was smart with the football. If the play wasn't there, he would throw it away. You know, if he was getting sacked, he wasn't trying to underhand it to somebody, making, you know, a bad situation worse. He just went out there and he handled business. Okay, so To wrap things up, I do want to quickly say, even though the Jets won 31-30, and even though that was one of the most exciting endings to a Jets game that I have frankly ever seen, again, 14 points in the last minute and a half with no timeouts in Cleveland, it wasn't a perfect day. There were a couple mistakes that I feel like need to be addressed, one of which is the penalties. I mean, how many penalties did the Jets have here? I got the team stats pulled up. 8 penalties. Okay, 8 penalties for 57 yards. I felt like a lot of those too were drop momentum killers, right? The Jets would have a really big play, and then it's, oh, illegal man downfield. Gotta bring it back, right? Oh, a solid play from Flacco. Nice pitch and catch. Oh, never mind. We have to nullify it. We're going backwards. The penalties have got to be cleaned up. Were they all 100% accurate? I'm going to say no. I felt like some were a little ticky-tack, but on the flip side, I felt like Cleveland, there were times where Cleveland got flagged, or, you know, the Jets jumped and, you know, as a false start and no flag was thrown. I felt like overall the officiating was pretty bad today on both sides. So the penalties for me have got to be cleaned up. The defense stopping the run, I just felt like, man, if it wasn't for that last 2 minutes, that last minute and 40 seconds, Cleveland would have ran away with the victory. They just could not. It just seemed like at the end of the game, they could not slow down Nick Chubb. They could not slow down Kareem Hunt. I felt like they weren't going down on first contact, and they were just carrying defenders, picking up chunk play after chunk play after chunk play. But with that said, the Jets are 1-1, and I feel really good about it. The Cincinnati Bengals are next week. Let's take the good and build upon it. Let's take the bad, analyze it, figure out what went wrong, and clean up our act, okay? Because I feel like at the end of the day, it was, and I know I keep coming back to it, it was a pretty even matchup for the majority of the game, and I feel like that's what a lot of Jets fans have been really searching for in the Saleh era. Let's be competitive in the fourth quarter. That's what happened today. And also, before I end the video, I just want to quickly say this. To hear Robert Saleh make the comments about receipts and everything like that, the reasoning behind it was to show confidence in his team, to say, hey, you know what? I believe in the guys in the locker room. Yeah, we might be 0-1. Yeah, we didn't win a lot of games last year, but I believe in my process. I believe in our schemes. I believe in the coaches. I believe in the players and the talent that we have here, and we are going to turn this thing around. To go to Cleveland down a couple players, and granted, it wasn't like Cleveland was 100% healthy either. Deshaun Watson's obviously suspended, no Conklin. But with that said, to go into Cleveland and to get a victory, it is a huge morale boost, especially for the young guys out there. The Sauce Gardners of the world, the Garrett Wilsons, the Elijah Moores, Breece Halls, the Michael Carters, who I felt like was really, really shifty today. It sends a message saying, you know what, we can beat good football teams. We can. If we hang in and we trust the process and we are competitive in the fourth quarter, anything could happen. This is football. This is why I love the sport, because the game's not over until the clock says 0. Okay, so I'll leave it there. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Again, I apologize for the late upload. I try to get these things up almost immediately, but the people over at Bleach Report were super cool and everything like that, so really wanted to do that and everything. So anyway, thanks so much, and as always, go Jets.